Thank you for plugging into the late night fantasy goodies that you crave so much with the OGs, your boys, Rick Kamla, FSWA Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. We are Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark, and we are going to take you into Monday night's 4-game slate. We got some other stuff for you as well. Before we dive in and before we hear from Doc, BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting. All right, remember that. And from the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games live and react to them and monetize them with your vibes as they happen. Live betting is incredible, and the more you do it, the better you get it. You ride the surfboard or whatever vibe you got, and you think you got that game figured out in the third quarter. I know what's going to happen here. Boom, put your money where your mouth is, man. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, pro and college, the NBA, college basketball, Cooper Flag, ya boy, NHL, and UFC, they got you covered. So head to BetOnline today, and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, before we get into Q&A, let's hear from you here, man. Just give me a take from the ball you watched on Monday night, dude. Just hit the people. A little icebreaker right here.
Well, I was all ready to talk about my magic man of the night. Kind of an uneventful night in the NBA, 4 games. None of them that exciting. The Hawks got a good win after beating twice last week, which was shocking, dare I say. Football game, the Monday night football game was incredible for being a matchup nobody cares about. It was pretty amazing. And then Minnesota just absolutely destroyed and dismantled the Lakers tonight. That was kind of embarrassing, I think, for the Lakers. And every angle, every revenge angle that I played tonight, DeJounte Murray playing against the Hawks, he shot like 3 of 20 or something ridiculous.
2 of 15, I think it was. It was horrible.
Julius Randle, super quiet against the Lakers. I was looking for revenge tonight. I didn't get it.
I'm sorry, man, because revenge is a dish best served cold. You had it served hot or something, man. It didn't quite work out for you. But he is one of the best fantasy minds of all time. It is Steve Alexander, Dr. A, with your boy Cam here, Ethos After Dark. So, Doc, let's get to some questions, all right? And first of all, we hear from Steve Sloan, who says, "What's up, OGs?" Love that right there. And then Productive Pulse says, "Hey, guys, love what you're doing here." Thank you guys so much, by the way. I want to give you an awe. And I mean that sincerely, man. We're trying to build this thing and spread it. Tell your friends, all right? Tell your coworkers at the water cooler. Tell your buddies. Tell your family members, man, to check us out. We're trying to build this thing, and word of mouth is huge. He says, "Got a trade question. Should I trade Josh Hart for PG-13? 14 team, 9 cat configuration, and I'm dealing with injuries to Zion and LaMelo right now." So for me, the Zion, LaMelo, and it's just about who would you rather have for the rest of the year, Josh Hart or Paul George? Give me Josh Hart, dude. Guy plays every night. I'm not a Paul George guy. I don't have FOMO here, Doc. I don't have FOMO here. I don't have fear of missing out. If I did, I would tell you Paul George. Y'all knock yourselves out with Paul George. I'm just not there. I don't trust him. If Embiid and Maxey are there, the stats won't be that great. So I'm saying Josh Hart.
Well, and you, to your point earlier, you're like, I don't really care if he's got LaMelo and Zion. Well, I do, because if you add Paul George to that, you're going to have 3 guys instead of 2 that are missing games.
Good point, dude.
And Josh Hart, like Rick said, plays every single night, man. I think if you add Paul George to the LaMelo Zion mix, you're just gonna be like, oh man, now none of them are playing tonight, and those are my 3 best players. I'm going Josh Hart.
I mean, I kind of can't believe I'm saying it and that you and I both agree with that, but it's where we're at, man.
And let's not forget Philadelphia's won 4 games.
Ooh.
And Joel Embiid has played in, say it with me, 4 games.
4.
Like tanking for Cooper Flag is a real thing for that team, which is insane to think about. right? Like,
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
that's where we are. I don't know, man. I mean,
throughout
Paul George is a better player, but I trust Josh Hart more.
and Josh Hart's a hell of a fantasy player. Throughout the summer, like, Philly's guaranteed for the top 4 in the East and all this kind of stuff. I mean, if healthy, you have Maxey every game, you have Embiid every game, you have Paul George every game, and you have other role players. Yeah, I mean, you may be top 4, but that is not the case. It is Cam, it is Doc. We are fielding questions right now. We will break down the Monday night slate. We'll get to our Magic Man and break down the 4 games here in a bit. But we're on questions right now. We have a blast with these, by the way.
Denver pick 6. Dude caught the ball, fell down, laid on the ground for a minute. Nobody even tried to touch him. He just got up and walked in.
Well, whoa. You're telling me Jameis Winston just threw a pick 6?
It's not the first one tonight.
So it's death, taxes, and Jameis Winston throwing ugly interceptions. And I have an appreciation for Jameis Winston. And some of you may know I'm a huge football guy as well. And so I have studied that game maybe almost as much as I've studied the orange one, but not as much. So JMN 153 Doc says, who's the dropout of Koulibaly, Aldama, or McCain for Sohan? I'm keeping McCain. I'm keeping Aldama. I'm gonna send Bilal to waivers.
Yeah, I don't really like dropping Koulibaly because I feel like he's been better than we thought he was going to be, and he's got a chance to have a big second half. But man, when Sohan is doing his thing, he's fun. And for our tanking Sixers, Jared McCain may be a thing all the way through the end of the season. So I'm going to agree with Rick and say that it's Koulibaly, only because Aldama has been great and McCain has shown that McCain has that upside that I don't know that Koulibaly has.
So he's just a better player, I think, too, Doc. And sometimes it can be boiled down to that. Kyle Lowry's going to be coming back here. All right. This is going to be critical with this, Doc, right? Does Lowry go back to the starting lineup? Does Jared McCain come off the bench? Or his minutes reduced? I think that's going to be a big thing to watch for. Doc, Nick Nurse can't go back to Kyle Lowry right now. If they were above 500 and Kyle Lowry had all kinds of equity with this year's team, maybe, but you suck. You're without George and Embiid. You have to play McCain right now. You have at this point, you've gone from win. Now I think you've gone into a little bit of win and develop at the same time, right? And as the season goes along, they may just say, screw it, we're Cooper flagging. But right now, I think you got to infuse that developmental piece into what they're doing right here. This clearly is not going to be a year where the Sixers do big things. They have to play McCain.
That's what I just said, sort of. Yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that McCain has shown us what he can do. And what he can do is go off. Like, Koulibaly doesn't have that in him. Sohan doesn't have it in him. But Jared McCain can go crazy if he needs to. And we might get to see that before this season's over. So I think I'm hanging on to McCain.
DJ Powers asks, points league, which 2 would you want going forward, Doc? You go first here. Mark Williams, he loves D'Angelo Russell, or Shaedon Sharpe?
One of my favorite indie bands ever, Sebadoh, has a line in one of their songs that says, walking myth, I'm not as dull as I seem. Mark Williams is a walking myth. Is he walking? I don't even know. I haven't seen the guy. Now, a little birdie named Andre told me that Mark Williams might play Tuesday night. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see.
Stop it.
But he's a walking myth. Give me D'Angelo, who led the Lakers tonight. Give me Shaedon Sharpe. I'll believe Mark Williams when I see him. Right now, he's more like Bigfoot. And we have a Bigfoot museum up here. I don't know. I haven't seen Mark Williams.
Wait a minute. You have a Bigfoot museum in Dahlonega, Georgia?
No, it's in Blue Ridge, but it's close by. It's not far. I've been there.
So are we then to believe that there's actually Bigfoot in the mountains of northern Georgia? Or is it just coincidence that there is a Bigfoot museum in the mountains of northern Georgia? Or
It's
like,
a
are you living among, could Bigfoot be in your backyard a la a big deer or moose at some point?
He could be, but it's also a tourist trap. There's not really much going on at the Bigfoot Museum. They sell a lot of bumper stickers that say, I believe.
Is the Bigfoot Museum even a fun go, or is it just corny and not cool?
I mean, that's all up into it. Up to interpretation, Rick. If you're
You just,
driving through Blue Ridge, Georgia, I would suggest stopping by the Blue Ridge Museum, the Bigfoot Museum. It's not going to hurt you.
but don't go out of your way to go to Blue Ridge to go to the Bigfoot Museum. I hear you.
Don't be expecting to see Bigfoot while you're there.
I understand. Because, in fact, he may not actually exist. All right. Nico Leon says, I am becoming a big fan of Sports Ethos After Dark. Thank you, Nico. And hopefully we didn't just lose you with that detour down Bigfoot Boulevard. Nico, we appreciate that compliment, man. He says, always looking forward to it. Amazing guys, amazing show. He says, quick question, if I may. Sell high on Poole. Around which value should I ask in return? Yeah, I'm okay with selling high on Jordan Poole because after the hot start, Doc, he has cooled. There was an injury. There have been some down games. Now, I'm not like down on him, like flush him and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Jordan Poole, Doc, he's probably in the 30s right now. Boy, Jordan Poole has slipped 38 right now. He's a 21 PPG, 3.2 threes, 1.9 steals, 4.9 assists, still an attractive stat line here, Doc, and perhaps marketable. Let me throw some names out here. Okay. I would trade Jordan Poole to get into Fred VanVleet right now. Okay. VanVleet's at 42nd overall on basketballmonster.com. I'm looking at some other guys that may be realistic, right? Like would the De'Aaron Fox manager get off of Fox to get into Jordan Poole? Highly, highly doubtful, right? So the guys that might be available, here's one, Doc. Would you flip Jordan Poole right now for Dyson Daniels, who's 25th in Basketball Monster? Would you do that right now?
Absolutely. If somebody would give me Dyson for Poole, I would do it in a second. And Poole's numbers have been pretty chill. Like they've been good. But we told you 3 or 4 weeks ago, like these steals, 4 steals a game is not what Jordan Poole does. And that's what he did for the first 10 days. Everybody's like, oh my God, Jordan Poole, steals machine. He's not a steals machine. He's not going to be a steals machine. Dyson Daniels is a steals machine. Yes. He had 4 more tonight.
Yes.
So that's the whole, oh God. No. Jameis just threw another pick in his end zone, and they were getting ready to score a touchdown. He threw a pick. It almost went for 6.
Oh
anyway,
wow! I gotta watch the Jameis implosion.
I'd way rather have Dyson Daniels than Jordan Poole. Not even close.
I gotta be honest. I'm looking around here on Basketball Monster for other trades that I would put together. I don't really see. I guess I'd rather have Brandon Miller for the long haul than Jordan Poole. So maybe I would offer that up.
Fred VanVleet, I think works.
Yeah, VanVleet, I think would be the best target out of what we're talking about right now. And I'm not really looking at bigs. I'm looking to go guard for guard here. Maybe a Norman Powell, Doc. Would you ship out Jordan Poole to bring back Norman Powell right now?
Oh,
I know, tough one.
That's pulling on my heartstrings.
You know what? I would, Doc. I would, because I fear the pull the plug on Jordan Poole with about 20 games to go. And the way the Clippers are playing, Doc, they're going to be feisty. They're going to be like in the play-in tournament, but like they're going to be playing big, important games all the way to game 82. So I may sacrifice a little stat line and a little value, like especially in the assist category here. But for the longevity, and I know I'm going to have Storm and Norman balling for me in the playoffs, I think I would do that. How about you?
I get it. I mean, The fact you signed off on that makes me feel good about Norman Powell. I mean, and I know his stat lines aren't massive, but he's excellent source of threes. He hits more threes than Jordan Poole, I think. I think he scores more points.
I can verify that. Norman is at 3.9 and Jordan Poole's at 3.2 threes per game.
I think Norman scores more points.
He does.
And Norm's efficient, man. Like, Norm's a good player. So yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. Norman Powell for Jordan Poole. Norman is so high though. Is that a do you move Jordan Poole to get Norman Powell? I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather see Dyson Daniels coming back.
But I mean, it's like you can't. I just don't think you can go big game hunting for Jordan Poole. Like, nobody's giving you a Booker or a Donovan Mitchell, or they're just not giving you that Jalen Brunson or a Cade Cunningham. They're just not giving you that level of player. Okay, so then you go down a notch, and those are some of the guys we've been talking about. Anyway, Nico, Leon, really appreciate the compliment, and we hope that was somewhat helpful for you. Ivan Alea says, is Jared McCain worth to hold the rest of season head-to-head 14 teams cat league? Doc, go.
14 teams, yes. I mean, too much upside to drop him and let somebody else pick him up, especially if they're going to end up tanking.
So I get him asking, right? But Doc is totally right here. I would say, Doc, that he is a roster in a 12-team league. I'm holding on to Jared McCain. I've seen a lot of wow from Jared McCain so far, and I don't trust that George or Doc, especially in a year that's going sideways. That means that they're going to be even more inclined to be cautious with them and hold them out more. Nope, I would go. I would keep Jared McCain in a 12 or a 14. All right, let's go to Productive Pulse. Productivity Pulse says, hey guys, love what you're doing here. Thank you, Productivity Pulse. Got a trade question. Should I trade Josh Hart for PG-13? Embiid's, wait a minute, am I doubling up here, or do we have the same question from two different people? Embiid seems cooked, but things aren't looking so great for PG2. 14-team, 9-cat configuration. Let me see here.
We've covered this, but yes, do it.
All right, so I'm sorry.
No. Wait. You should trade Paul George to get Josh Hart. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Bottom line, we'd rather have Josh Hart for the rest of the season. All right. Lucas Kotecki says, no question for me, but just wanted to say you guys are the best NBA show. Recently found you guys. Thanks for the coverage. Lucas Kotecki, thank you so much, man. Again, it means a lot, man. Me and Doc go way, way, way back, and we're psyched that you guys are psyched about this show, this little ditty that we're putting together here. Andre asks a question on Jordan Poole, going back to that and maybe selling high with him. Nikola Vucevic or Jordan Poole rest of season, Doc? Where are you going?
Vooch just keeps going like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah, he's getting older. Yeah, he's not on Sports Center. 18 points, 10 boards, some threes tonight. He does it every game. I don't love the fact that the Bulls are 9-13, but that's not like tank for Cooper Flag territory. I think we're okay. I'm going Vooch all day.
Great question, Andre, and I'd say Vooch as well. And getting Vooch value-wise, think about it, Doc. Jordan Poole is at 38. Nikola Vucevic right now is at 9. Okay, but guess what, guys? A lot of fantasy basketball players aren't on Basketball Monster. Maybe they don't look at rankings. Maybe they just vibe it out. And so I think a lot of people have been buzzing about Jordan Poole's hot start. You look at his stat line right now, like I said a minute ago, it's very marketable right now with the steal total, the threes, the assists, the scoring. He's got a very marketable line right now with a lot of downside that hopefully that other manager doesn't realize. So I do think you can lily pad hop realistically, at least send out the trade offer and not be laughed at Jordan Poole for Nikola Vucevic. I'm with it. All right, last question here. Dan Risby says, what to do with LaMelo? Hold or trade now for highest value possible? How low would you be willing to sell? Doc, how many games does LaMelo? Before we answer this question, let's vet. I mean, dude, like, do you have your scuba gear on? We are literally going to the bottom of the Pacific right now. I don't know. Do you have a clue how long LaMelo Ball is going to miss? The dunce cap.
I don't know how long he's going to miss. Oh, I think this strap is about to come up and snap me in the nose. That'll be good. I don't know how many games he's going to miss. I'm going to go with how many games is LaMelo Ball going to play this season. And I'm going to say the over-under on that is, let's just call it 50.
I'm going under.
I've got the under as well.
Doc, I just wrote last week. I'm not trying to sound smart. It's just coming up here, okay? I just wrote last week for Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball to sell high with LaMelo Ball because I said I just don't trust him. And I mean, I don't know how this is going to go. It's dumb luck timing. Boom, he gets hurt. Okay. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. And Doc, this is ominous left calf strain. Uh-oh. Dude, that could be bye, LaMelo. It was fun. You know how this goes with him. This dude's played 58 games the last 2 years, Doc. 58. That's 29 games a year, brah. That's as bad as it gets.
And what happens when you have a left calf strain? You overcompensate, right? And then what happens? You start hurting stuff that you normally wouldn't hurt, or that you hurt all the time, like your ankle that's made out of Doritos.
I like that line. Keep using it. I do. It tickles me. I like it every time.
It's a good one. I developed that back in this when Steph Curry was always hurt. He was Dorito ankles, the original Doritos ankles. But he's
the original. I love it, man. I love it. Doc, I think you trade for the highest value possible right now. Like, and again, I'm not shaming anybody. I'm not trying to take any credit here. I'm just, it's too late to sell high with him, right? You had your moment when he's going 35 and 8 and 9 and the threes and the steals and these unbelievably freakish stat lines. We all kind of knew that this was going to happen. And I'm not screaming at you like, oh, you were so wrong. And I'm not in any kind of way about this.
Well, you were as into what LaMelo was doing as anybody. You were like, I'm watching this guy make these passes, and I haven't seen anything like it since Magic Johnson.
And I've said it since his rookie year. I love the kid. I love his game. I mean, but again, okay, when you hit me and Dr. Ray, and probably a lot of you, when you hit me and Dr. Ray with 58 games over a 2-year stretch, whoosh, with the turds and the toilet paper, I'm sorry, like you're dead to us. I can't work with you, bro. I can't. And so, yes, I was into this year and a lot of the stat lines we talked about, Doc, but in the back of my brain and in the back of your brain was the same damn thing. To copyright you, before I say it, the Dorito ankles. And I don't know that it's going to be Dorito ankles, but now it's a calf strain, for the love of God. Okay? Like, so guys, the words LaMelo Ball out indefinitely it's a horror show in fantasy basketball. It's a horror show. So hopefully you were able to be like, okay, I got to get out on LaMelo right now, kind of like maybe Bitcoin right now. Like, I don't know if you guys think that's topped out and it's time to jump or continue to sort of ride the wave of Bitcoin. You like the Bitcoin reference right there, Doc? I've got the most minuscule share of Bitcoin ever. It's literally that big. Okay?
Dude, I had some, and I can't log in my account anymore, so it's just gone like the wind.
What do you mean? What?
I don't even know where it is.
Was it with Robinhood by chance?
I don't know where it is, bro. It's on Fox or something. I don't even know. So,
but Andre, did you sell the shares of Bitcoin, or do you still have?
No, whatever? They're still in my name, but I can't.
Okay, well then it's still out there, and I'm telling you, you're going to be way up from where you started, dude. Bitcoin has shot way.
I'll never find it again. It's gone. I've looked for it. It's gone. I'll put you on the case.
Oh my
So,
God. Your Bitcoin shares have vanished into the ethers of the internet. Are you
yes,
kidding me right now?
that's where they are. Okay,
Blame
listen.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk has hijacked your Bitcoin shares, dude.
Listen to me. Andre has put names out here. Would you rather have this guy or LaMelo Ball?
Okay,
Let's go through these real quick.
Let's do it. I promise you, every single one will be the other guy. But go ahead. You play host. Bounce the questions off me.
LaMelo Ball or Jalen Johnson?
Stop it.
Jalen
Next.
Johnson.
Stop it. Next.
LaMelo Ball or James Harden? Next.
Harden. Next.
LaMelo Ball or Franz Wagner?
Good question, Franz. Next.
LaMelo or Cade?
Cade. And I am worried. I'm worried, but Cade.
LaMelo or Evan Mobley?
You already know.
Okay. Okay. All right. We have one more question. I'm going to go ahead and go with this.
Yes, what is it?
Joseph Kim asked a Dr. A special Tobias Harris or Jeremy Sohan. For me, it's Jeremy Sohan, and it's not close.
I'm going Tobias.
Oh my God.
I'm going. Let me look at Sohan's line real quick. Maybe I'm sleeping. I haven't watched him play in a month. Maybe I'm sleeping on my boy Sohan. Maybe I'm sleeping on my boy Sohan a little bit. Because we always sleep on Tobias Harris. All of us are guilty of sleeping on Tobias Harris. Sohan's stat line is 15, 8, and 3, 1 steal, 51 field, 0.4 threes. Nah, give me Tobias Harris. This is a Tobias Harris-ish stat line. 15, 7, and 3. That's what Tobias Harris does. 1 steal, 0.4 blocks. That's 1.4 stocks. That's not special at all. I bet Tobias Harris has a very similar stock total to that. 51% has Tobias Harris beat. I know that. But Tobias Harris is probably at 2 threes per game, and Jeremy Sohan's at 0.4. Give me Tobias Harris, dude.
All right, I'm going to let you get us into the next segment, and I am going to post a poll on Twitter: Tobias Harris or Jeremy Sohan.
I like it. What shirt are you wearing? What is that? A Georgia Bulldogs polo, Doc? Who is that?
This is a Trae Young jersey under a Nike pullover.
Okay, I got you. The jersey. It's just such a weird reference. The Trae Young jersey. Anyway, that is a Dr. A. We clown around. We get a little bit goofy. It's a late night fantasy goodie delivery from your boys, the OGs. We got one Hall of Famer right here. It is him, Steve Alexander. And I am Rick Kamla, and we are Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark. So, Doc, let's move on here to the Magic Man of the night. But before, I want to tell the people they can catch us live on YouTube before every show for Q&A. Do not miss updates. Subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. And so, Magic Man of the night, Doc, I want you always go first with this. So let's keep that rolling here. Who is your Magic Man of the night?
Yeah, I'm always like Portland. I keep it kind of weird with my Magic Man. I'm going to go with Josh Giddey, my guy. The rankings suck. I get it. But the counting stats are there, man. So tonight, against the Brooklyn Nets, Josh Giddey had 20 points, 13 rebounds, 11 dimes, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 3. He hit 9 of 17 shots. He was amazing. That's my guy right there. And as much crap as he catches on the season, he's basically averaging, I'm rounding up, 12 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 3. He's only shooting 44%. I've seen worse. 71% from the line, which is odd because he shot 81% last year. So that should be coming up. I'm a Josh Giddey guy. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love him. And tonight, it all came together.
It did, and I thought of you as I was watching that happen, and also looking at the stat line here: 1, 1, and 1, and the threes, the steals, and the blocks, which is not always the case with Josh Giddey. Doc, This show has the Magic Man of the Night because of you. This is your idea. Okay. The original idea was on the NBA TV fantasy basketball show. We did the Magic Man of the Night. And Doc was like, for our show here, Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark, let's do the Magic Man of the Night. Awesome idea, Doc. Let's bring it back. Let's do it. Okay. So we are the founding fathers of this, really a fantasy basketball, but this whole Magic Man thing. All right. And so, Doc, this started back in 2003. That's 21 years ago. That's a generation of basketball, a generation of Magic Men of the Night, okay? And so I don't want to disparage and disrespect and denigrate all of the other phenomenal Magic Men of the Night, guys that score 60 and 50 and have 40-point triple-doubles and have a Jokic line of 31, 18, and 15, okay? And they do stuff like that, and we call them a Magic Man, and we honor these great performances here on Ethos After Dark. Tonight, CJ McCollum, 29, 3 threes, 2 assists, 1 steal. That's not a Magic Man, okay? But he was the high scorer of the night. And, Jaylen Brown, 29, 7, and 4. Okay. 1 steal, no blocks, 4 threes. That's not a Magic Man. Peyton Pritchard, 25, 5, and 4, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 threes. Great stat line.
Not a Magic Man.
He had 25. That's not a Magic Man. I mean, and then we get 23 from Yves Missi with the goodies. And we're going to talk about some of these guys as we go through our recap. DeAndre Hunter had 22. Vooch had 21 and 10. There's no Magic Man. Okay? I am not handing out a man. No soup for tonight in the NBA, Doc. No soup on this 4-game Monday night, which, by the way, okay, you talk in betting, right, about trap games, right? It's like if whoever Ohio State is playing the game before Michigan, and I just follow me here. I don't really remember like who they played and all that, but right, the game before the big game is a trap game, right? Oh, they're going to be looking ahead to that next game. This was a trap night in the NBA, Doc, because last night was killer. You had number 1 in the East against number 2 in the, you had the 1-2 battles in the East and the West. You had a bunch of great games. Luka returned. Like last night was hot in the NBA. Tonight wasn't, Doc. And tomorrow night's going to be hot in the NBA with the NBA Cup coming back, dude. So tonight was a trap game. Tonight in the NBA was a trap game. But dude, no Magic Man. I'm not handing it out. I don't want to cheapen the Magic Man of the night.
You should give it to Jerry Jeudy.
What was Jerry Jeudy's stat line?
I don't have it pulled up, but he went off against his former team. That was the revenge game that we were all looking for, except it happened in the wrong sport.
Good point, dude. Jerry Jeudy is on Cleveland now. All right, let me pull up his stat line here real quick. Jerry Jeudy, to me, is the DeAndre Ayton of the NFL because tremendously talented, but got to the NFL and got real comfy. And so it would figure that a guy with a low motor would all of a sudden be like, hey, let's flex against, oh my God, 9 for 235 with 1 touchdown. Holy bleep. That's insane. All right. Anyway, enough football, Doc, but I just wanted to make that random ass point. All right. So those are our Magic Men of the night. Doc had one. I did not. All right. Monday night recap here, Doc. Let's start with New Orleans and Atlanta. Where do I want to start here? I've got a couple of vibes on this game. Doc, let's start with Yves Missi. I know, who wins and loses the game sometimes matters. Sometimes it doesn't so much. And I don't really care. Pelicans and Hawks, like it's not a top of the league type of game. But dude, like Yves Missi, okay, folks, if he's on waivers, I think you need to run and go get him. All right. And let's look up his roster on what do you think, Doc? About 50% on Yahoo Leagues. Oh my God, 32%. Holy cow. Go get him. Tonight he had 23 and 12, 1 block, 1 steal. Doc, in the last 5 games, Yves Missi, center for the Pelicans, has 3 double-doubles. Okay, 5 games, 3 double-doubles, 9 blocks, and 5 steals. All right. The defensive goodies have been crazy from Yves Missi. So to me, he is a must add right now, Doc. He should be much more than 32% rostered in Yahoo Leagues.
Yeah, I've got him in a couple leagues. I don't think he's on waivers in any of my leagues. And yeah, he kind of got loose. He had 11 of 14 shots, 23 points, 12 boards. against the Hawks, but the Hawks are not known for shutting down opposing centers. But Yves Missi, I mean, you just said it, all those blocks and all those steals, along with the line he put up tonight. Plus, there's nobody else, literally no one else to play center for that team. It's Yves Missi. He should be rostered everywhere.
That thing was like really loud. Was that super loud for you too? It was like a hotel late at night where the attendant's not at the desk and you go bing.
That's what it sounded like. It sounded like ring the bell for service. And then some dude comes out of the back room in a wife beater with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a 4-day-old beard. His hair's all jacked up. He's got his pit bull with him and he's like, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want to see your garage. I don't want to go see your garage. And I don't want to go in your basement where maybe you have a butcher knife. I don't want to go down there. I don't. I think I'm going to leave now. All right. It is Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark. All right, Doc, on the Hawk side of this one, okay? A shout out and then like maybe a pickup that people need to look into. I want to shout out DeAndre Hunter. He's a game misser, and I don't like that. But, damn it, he has been really good this year, Doc. Tonight he had 22 points on 8 of 14 from the field, made 4 threes. My problem with DeAndre Ayton, he's not a PRA guy, okay? He's not a rebound or assist guy. And he's not a block or steal guy. So we got some hits, okay? But I got to give it to the guy. His efficiency is way, way, way up, Doc. He's at 49% from the field, 89% from the free throw line, shooting a good percentage from three, making 2.53 balls a game, averaging 18 points per game. He's 93rd in basketball monster value right now, okay? So shout out to DeAndre Hunter. And then Zachary Sachet, Doc, is climbing a little bit here. He went 13 tonight with 1-1-1 in the block steals and threes. He has 4 straight games with 10-plus points and 1-1-1 at least in the block steals and threes, okay? So Sachet's coming a little bit here, Doc. I think people should at least consider him in a streaming capacity. If not, maybe just rostering him.
Yeah, I picked him up and threw him in my Cam Dynasty roster this week, I believe, or at least one league. I don't know if it's that one, but I picked him up. He plays. At this point in some of these deeper leagues, we're just looking for warm bodies. He certainly is that. Shout out to Dyson Daniels, who was amazing. Bogey Bogdanovic finally cooled off. I'm with you on DeAndre Hunter, man. If we would have seen this version of DeAndre Hunter for the last 3 years, Bogey Bogdanovic may not even be here, like in Atlanta. Like DeAndre Hunter was supposed to be a really good player, and he sort of looks like it this year. And before we move totally on, DeJounte Murray coming back to Atlanta, having a good chance at lighting up Trae Young, lighting up his ex-teammates, hits 2 of 15 shots for 7 points. Huge disappointment. He did have 5 steals. Way to go. But Dyson Daniels, man, Dyson Daniels is the fantasy draft pick of the year so far in fantasy hoops, in my opinion.
I'm not going to disagree with that at all. Doc, right now, I'm looking for his value. It's very, very high. Where is our boy? All right, I don't want to take up too much more time. I thought he was.
Let's sort it by team and look. Dyson Daniels up. Let me refresh.
Where is Dyson Daniels on here? I thought I saw. Oh, here he is, 25. He kind of got lost under a bigger line above him. 25th. 25th in basketball monster value right now. 25th. Wow. Like we said earlier, we were trading out a Jordan Poole for a Dyson Daniels. All right, Doc, let's move on to Miami at Boston tonight. Give you the fantasy spin on this one. Jaime Jaquez, come on down. You're the next contestant on the Fantasy Basketball Waiver Wire.
On the bench in street clothes.
Your boy. Not my boy. Your boy. Jimmy Butler. Oh, my God. Right knee soreness. Eye roll. What's Like the kids say, I'm over it. I don't like what's north of I'm over it, right? What I don't know. What hit us up in the count. What's north of I'm over it? Because I'm more than over it. All right.
Do the kids say I'm over it? I feel like that's sort of
is that an adult thing? Is that what we do? I'm over it.
I don't know that that's what the kids are saying.
I don't.
The kids are saying, well, I don't even know, but
the kids are saying like they're saying like AF, right? Isn't that what the kids are saying? Like everything's AF. Anyway, oh my God, we digress. Dude, we got to talk about Jaime Jaquez. Okay. To me, Yves Missi is a run, don't walk pickup. Go get him. Jaime Jaquez Jr., I think is that same guy right now, Doc. I know he was hurt and he was out of the lineup, but he's been back and Spo hasn't been going to him. And we got a Duncan Robinson thing and we got a Haywood Highsmith thing and we got all these guys, right? You know, he had this year 0.2 infatuation with Nikola Jovic. We got to get it. I mean, give me a break, right? So Jaime Jaquez needs to be a staple of this team. He's a stud. We all know that. And he's a stat sheet stuffer. Tonight, Doc, he goes 19 and 10, 3 assists, 3 steals. Didn't make a 3-ball tonight, but who cares? He will. All right. Previous 4 games in minutes. Okay. 14, 20, 18, 19. Hello, waiver wire. All right. Tonight, he played 36 minutes, Doc. And did you see Terry Rozier's minuscule little teeny eensy-weensy little stat line tonight? Duncan Robinson was still in the starting 5, but I feel like, okay, Doc, Jimmy Butler comes back. Who comes out of the starting 5? Duncan Robinson or Jaime Jaquez? You tell me. Talk to me about this.
Is it not Haywood Highsmith?
Or Haywood Highsmith could come out of the starting 5. Good point. But they do love Haywood Highsmith. They love his length and defense against opposing forwards. So you do have that going on.
Dude, this time last year, Jaime Jaquez was a thing. Like we was rostered everywhere. He was balling out. He was putting up stat lines like this one every night. And this year, he's just been buried and invisible. He's only played over 20 minutes like 3 or 4 times this season. This is his first game with 30 or more minutes in it, and he went off. If Jimmy Butler's not going to play, I don't know why Jaime Jaquez is not in there. Now, granted, this was a blowout, a Celtics blowout. Easy win over the Heat.
But he started over Rozier, bro. He started. If it was off the bench in a blowout, I don't care. He started, man.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it keeps going. Terry Rozier off the bench. That is news.
Big development. He's probably I gotta check, dude. They let me go to my depth chart here. They didn't extend him, right? Rozier's on an expiring deal, right? Rozier. 24. Okay, he's on an expiring deal. 24 million and then a $26 million team option. Do you think the Miami Heat are going to pay Terry Rozier $26 million to play basketball next year? I friggin' don't. They will flush that and send him out. So Doc, that's we're at the point now because look, I think Spo has been like, dude, I got to play Duncan Robinson. And I've been saying this for years, Doc. And I don't love Duncan Robinson. I don't want to send him to the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But damn it, he is still one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA. And he's long and he's proven, especially in some big playoff games, like he can like cut off of picks and play without the ball and pass a little bit. And like he's not just a stand and shoot guy. He does a couple of other things out there. I'm kind of a Duncan Robinson guy, but he's an elite 3-point shooter. And so like let Rozier go, trade him. I don't know, Doc. How about this? How about Scary Terry goes back to Boston, right? I mean, I know Pritchard's killing it, but their bench is pretty lame. Outside of him, Hauser's been a big disappointment this year. I'm kind of on a thought bubble and stream of consciousness right now. But to me, Terry Rozier is probably going to be traded from Miami. They got to go with Jaquez, bro.
I think so too. But Terry had scored, in double figures in 3 of his previous 4 games. Everything was kind of going okay. And then he came off the bench tonight. So, you're not dropping Terry Rozier, are you?
Yeah. Yep.
You just straight up cutting him right now.
Yeah, because let me go to his stat line. Like the last I checked it, which was recently, it was like one of those just north of the waiver wire type of stat lines. Not like, oh my God, I got to roster this guy. Okay, here's the stat line.
I'm not a Terry Rozier guy. I'm just asking.
I kind of am. Because historically he's been very good at threes and steals, right? So I kind of am a Terry Rozier guy. This year, though, Doc, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 13, 3 and 3 is waiver wire. Okay. We're not getting steals anymore. He's at 0.6. Okay. Waiver wire. All right.
He hasn't had a steal in 6 games.
Bingo. Okay. He's at 40% from the field. Waiver wire. He's at 2.2 threes. Waiver wire. There's all kinds of guys with 2.23 balls per game on the waiver wire. Trust me. All right. And then, I mean, who cares from there, right? So he's a waiver wire guy. I'm absolutely sending him to waivers right now.
I'm glad I asked.
Bingo.
Bye, Scary Terry.
Bye. Maybe he resurfaces on another team. All right, so that's what's up with Miami and Boston. And I feel like we complained about Jimmy Butler enough. We threw him under the bus. We had a laugh and we moved on. Okay.
I need one more game from Jaime Jaquez before I'm running to the waiver wire to get him.
Okay, Yves, Messi, or Jaquez, who are you going to get right now?
Messi.
Okay. I agree, because we've got more on the back of the basketball card. And Spo maybe like, yeah, I saw it. I want to go back to Rozier. He could do that. I don't think he's going to do that, but he could do that. I would rather have Messi, but I am pretty. I am telling you right now to go get Jaime Jaquez, but I understand what Doc is saying. All right, Doc. Brooklyn at Chicago. And look, obviously we talked about Josh Giddey, and I think you made this point, but Kobe White was out tonight with a left ankle sprain. Boom. You get a triple-double from Josh Giddey. No, it is not a coincidence at all. 20, 13, and 11 from Josh. But you know what I want to talk about, Doc? I want to talk about one of my favorite rookies. You know where I'm going with this. The shaggy hair, looked like he just got out of the what they call the van on Scooby-Doo. What they call their van? I forget. Do you remember? All right, who cares? The van. He's Shaggy. Okay, from Scooby-Doo. The what wagon?
I can't think of it.
Okay, who cares? It's too long ago. Anyway, Montes Buzelis, Doc, 20 points, 4 threes. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm like Patrick Williams. What? Who would you rather see in the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls? Pat Williams or or Chet Holmgren 2.0? Montes Buzelis, who had this. Remember, we talked about the pop game, Doc. He had 14 points. He had 2 threes. He had a block. And then it was like, bro, you're making me look bad, right? The numbers were lame. The minutes were lame. But then he popped back up here tonight. I think Billy Donovan needs to give this kid 20 minutes a game. Run him out there and see what he's got. Because I think Montes Buzelis is a stud. The mystery machine.
Mystery machine. There it is.
Nothing gets by Andre Lamouche. Literally nothing. And Andre's from another country too, right? How does he know that? Is Scooby-Doo worldwide? Andre, were you like a young buck watching Scooby-Doo? How do you even know?
Google. He's got Google.
He says, yes, sir.
No, he's full.
He was watching Scooby-Doo, bro. Worldwide.
Why did Julian Phillips start over Matas tonight?
Because he's a wing. I don't know. Like, Billy Donovan loves Torrey Craig too, right? Freaking loves Torrey Craig. Yeah, Torrey Craig's all right. Well, here's the other thing with Billy Donovan, Doc. Is Billy Donovan a new school coach, or has he been around the block a little while?
He's been around the block.
Okay. I'm not calling him old, but do older coaches typically like to play rookies big minutes?
No, they do not.
No, they do not. I think that's what's going on with Buzelis. I think if Buzelis was with like a Will Hardy, he'd be playing more. Just any kind of like a Charles Lee in Charlotte, right? I think Buzelis would be playing more. But I think the older coaches, man, like Larry Brown, the great Larry Brown, I always do the 2-hand like Larry Brown used to do to the refs. All right. Like he hated playing rookies. It was just one of his things. Steve Kerr does not typically like rookies, Doc. Okay. Phil Jackson didn't like rookies. Just some coaches are like that, man.
Buzelis
like that.
Buzelis
Buzelis is my guy.
Buzelis or Yves Misi or
Eves.
Jaime Jaquez.
Eves. Look, or it's definitely Misi, Hackett. But okay, great question. Buzelis, I'm monitoring right now. He's not in pickup mode yet. Doc, I'll stream him. Like tonight would have been a good streamer night for Buzelis. You got 4 games. You just want to get a guy in your lineup, right? All right, roll the dice on Buzelis. No problem at all. But on like a thick Wednesday night with 1 million games, you're not rocking with Buzelis. I mean, I need to see more. I need to see more of a pattern of consistency because Billy Donovan's kind of yo-yoing him up and down.
We're annoying Andre because you don't say Eves. It's just Eve Misi.
Really?
Yeah.
Eve Misi. I thought, have you heard, or am I just, okay. I'm trying to think what I've heard. Okay, screw it. It's Eve Misi. All right, cool. We understand. It doesn't even matter. It's in the past. It's Eve Misi. All right, that's how we're rocking here.
You can't get anything by Andre, dude.
Nothing. Okay. But he gets a lot past us with those trivia questions in the summertime.
Yeah,
when we're providing you extra added content, right? Extra added content. But Doc, Cam Johnson missed his first game of the year. And I just want to look back at the box score. Like nothing popped out at me that when I saw it first. Jalen Wilson, who actually picked up the stream against you tonight in the Cam Dynasty, was awful. Like he went splat. On the floor tonight. Dennis Schroeder was Tyrese Martin had 15, 3 threes, but I don't trust that because he had that huge game and then a lame game, and now he's I don't know what we're doing here.
Well, that's Cam.
Watford was okay.
That's Cam related.
Dariq Whitehead, of course it's Cam related, but Shake Milton kind of had a decent game tonight, but Shake Milton, Dariq Whitehead, Trendon Watford, Tyrese Martin, Jalen Wilson. That's 5 guys. And I'll throw Keon Johnson in there. I see him on waivers. And, on Yahoo, look every day, and I know you do too, Doc, and you see the most added players, and he was one of the most added players. That's 6 guys, Doc. 6. And none of them really popped to the point where I'm feeling frisky and ticklish about them. So that's what I got, dude. But I wanted to bring up that Cam Johnson was out tonight because there are some ripple effects.
I think Tyrese Martin is interesting. Sort of like Matas Buzelis. I don't know.
Yeah, Buzelis. You got it right.
Sort of watching that guy. I'm watching Tyrese, and then Shake Milton somehow played 35 minutes. But let's keep in mind this is a blowout loss to the Bulls, and there's just Derek Whitehead, 18 points, 6 triples. No, don't go pick them up unless you're in a 20-team league.
Exactly. It's just I'm just not feeling it.
Plus Dorian Finney-Smith was out too.
Good point. Because DFS starts for them. All right, Doc, one more game to talk about here tonight. And you alluded to it a little bit earlier in our run here that Minnesota thrashed LA, who, like we told you recently, is not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. They keep losing games, yo. But I want to make the point about Anthony Edwards here, Doc. We're not anywhere close to Tyrese Halliburton, DEFCON 1. With Tyrese Halliburton, it's literally DEFCON 1. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, my God, I ruined my season spending a first-round pick on Tyrese Halliburton. That's how people are, talking and looking right now. We're not there with Anthony Edwards at all. He's at almost 28 points per game. The goodies are pretty good, but check it out. Doc, he's having a weird year. Anthony Edwards is having a weird year. I thought we were going to see upticks across the board. Just keep going up, 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 up. Okay, that hasn't happened. He tonight had 8 points. 8. And I know they blew out LA, but still, come on. What is that? Right? He's got 7 consecutive games under 30. He hasn't hit 30 in 2 weeks. To me, that's an issue. I don't know about you guys, okay? This year, he's down in field goal percentage, 46 down to 45. He's down in free throw percentage, down from 83 to 80. He's down in assists from 5.1 to 3.7, and that, to me, is a buzzkill. He's down in the threes and assists. Not cool. Because you want Anthony Edwards to be like Kobe, to be like Wade, to be like Jordan, and be like that 35-5, 25-5-5, right? And he's not. Okay. He's up, Doc, in points, 1.8 per game to almost 28. And here's the big news. His 3-point percentage has skyrocketed, and he's up 2.3 threes per game. I bet right, and I didn't look this up, Doc, but I bet right now, barring guys that have gone from not playing at all to playing this year, a guy like that may be up 2.3 threes per game. But guys that were rotational guys or starters last year and then coming back this year, there's nobody that's up 2.3 threes per game. That's like changing who you are as a player, okay? Like a fundamental change. So that's colossal. But this has overall been a weird year for Anthony Edwards. We see Minnesota at 500, Doc. He's not ascending into even a fringe MVP candidate, and it's not all his fault. But this season isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. I thought the stat line would be better. I thought more wins would be there. I thought we'd get more of these magnificent, oh my God, Anthony Edwards performances. This has been a weird year from him.
This may sound stupid, but I really think he hates his team. Like, he doesn't like the guys he's playing with. He's standing out there and chucking threes. Right? He took 14 in one game, 11 in one game, 12 in one game, 9 in one game. He hasn't hit even close to half of his shots, regular shots, in 6 straight games. 9 of 20, 9 of 21, 8 of 22, 9 of 24, 7 of 21, and 3 of 13. He's mad at his team. He's standing out there and just shooting jumpers. Like, where's the dog that we saw against Kevin Durant last year that was like, I'm going to kill everything in front of me? He's not here right now. Like, he's gone. And he doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that, I'm just going to take it to the rack and dunk on somebody. Like, he's just out there shooting fadeaways. Like, I just don't think I don't know what's going on, but I think he's really, really mad about being a Timberwolf right now.
Look, I think you're making great points. There was a report that came out, I saw it on Twitter about, he said that, we're not communicating. We're not really talking right now. It shows they're funky right now. And,
we're soft. We're a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, Doc, it's the most Timberwolves thing ever. It is. Doc, a lot of people may be like, Cam, why are you no longer a Timberwolves fan? Welcome. Welcome to the Timberwolves experience. Doc, they can't have nice things. Cannot. It's not a maybe. It's a definitive. You will not have nice things. Minnesota Vikings, same thing. Like, it just is what it is with these Minnesota sports teams. I'm a Golden Gopher. I went to the University of Minnesota. We can't have nice things, Doc. We're never going to beat one of the big boys in the Big Ten. It's never, ever, ever, ever going to happen.
But Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale's my boy.
Oh,
but that has nothing to do with the Wolves and the Vikings. Oh, yeah, Kevin McHale that was. Anyway, I'm not saying anything. I'm nothing but love and flowers for my boy Kevin McHale, man. Nothing.
No, he went to Minnesota.
He did.
So did Randy Brewer.
Michael Thompson, back in the day, went to the University of Minnesota. Randy Brewer, good call, dude. Good call.
Rudy Gobert. Hello, Rudy. The stifled tower, baby. Took out all of his season-long anger on the poor Lakers tonight. Hit 7 of 8 shots for 17 points, 12 boards, and 0 blocks.
And how many? How many blocks? How many blocks?
Garbage.
I was going to jump in and say no blocks. I mean, 17 and 12. All right, you had a pulse tonight? Cool. No blocks. Thanks, Rudy. Doc, like, I think this is the decline, bro. I think we're in the decline right now of Rudy Gobert. Like, Brook Lopez has proven, like, nah. I'm Splash freaking Mountain, bro. As my man Dr. A calls me, I'm Brolo, okay? Like, come on, bro. Like, Gobert right here. 14 points last year down to 10. 13 rebounds down to 11. 2.1 blocks down to 1.6. 66 from the field down to 64.
With Cat gone.
With Cat gone.
It makes no sense.
Guys, don't freak out and send them to waivers, all right? But, 10 and 11 with 1.6 blocks, it's all right. I'm not super mad at you. But again, like, I'm going to need some 14 and 12 with 2 blocks a game from Rudy Gobert. And like you said, tonight, no blocks. He's been a disappointment, Doc. Julius Randle's been a disappointment. Mike Conley's been a little bit of a disappointment. Jaden McDaniels had a week or two, Doc, where he was a thing. And remember, I was all hot on him, and he has gone back to being, up and down like the stock market. They're a weird, funky team right now, Doc. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, so Brewski asked me on Friday, I think,
Brewski,
where you're at with Julius Randle, because you were pretty high on him coming in.
Yeah. So let me, Julius Randle. It's not working. I'll start there, but also, Doc, if I'm not going to pinpoint it all on Randle. Dante's not had a great year in Minnesota. I think he's really struggled with leaving New York, leaving the Nova Knicks, his homies, for Minnesota. Even though it was, a team in the West Finals last year, but I think he struggled with that. You went from the biggest stage in basketball to Minnesota, buzzkill. He probably had off the court opportunities in New York that aren't there in Minnesota. But clearly his role has changed, gone from a starter and, the best 3-point shooter in Knick history to a bench guy. But Julius Randle this year is a 21, 7, and 4. He doesn't bring any defense to the table, but he never has. He's a 1.6 threes, which is right in line. He's had some bigger years. He's had years around there. It's a little light, but not terrible. 50% from the field, 81% from the free throw line. Pardon me, Doc. So this is, the rebounds are a little down. We're used to him being right around 9 to 10 per game. He's at 7. All right, but you're playing next to Gobert. So I think I didn't anticipate 10 rebounds a game with this group. He's at 21, 7, and 4. It's a really good PRA stat line. Really good field goal percentage. 1.6 threes. We'd all like to get that to get up to 2. And then I think you're talking about a really solid overall stat line. They're going to play in big minutes. And so I'm still where I've always been with Julius Randle. I think he's doubted, underappreciated, disrespected, and I love going to bat for him.
Guess what? Tomorrow night, I don't think you're going to have any trouble picking a Magic Man, because we got a lot of games, and we're going to be here at 11:30ish, breaking it all down, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we will see you tomorrow night. We really appreciate you guys and girls joining us. We love the ears. We love the eyes. We love the activity on Twitter, retweeting our stuff. Please do that and give us these 5-star ratings wherever you can. But we're trying to grow this word of mouth, and you guys have given us a lot of great compliments tonight, and it means a lot to us, okay? So keep asking us these questions. We'll keep hanging out with you and helping you win a fantasy championship. For our awesome producer, Andre Lemouche, who you can't get anything by, and our guy, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, I am Rick Kamla. This is Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark. And we just want to tell you before we get out of here that this episode right here, this little ditty we've been rocking with, has been presented by Bet Online. We will see you on Tuesday night for NBA Cup action.